What if you were to let go of past regret and future fear so you can step into the power of presence and be happy in the now? Don't we all want to be happy? You know what? It exists in the now. And I have a story to share with you about this that came up big this week for me with one of my kids. So, if this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Amanda Barrientez, the founder of the Max Potential Habits podcast and NFA coaching, and this is your place every week to come for tips, tools, and inspirational interviews to help you optimize your habits so you can thrive in life and business. And this week, we're talking all about the power of presence and how that helps you be happy in the now. I can't tell you how many people I talk to, and when you ask them, you say, what do you really want in life? And they say, ultimately, I want to be happy. And what does happiness mean? It means fulfillment. It means a life of meaning. It means a life of being able to enjoy what's going on around you. It means that when you are on your deathbed, you look back and you go, yes, 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 yes. I was connected, I was conscious, I loved the people around me, I made an impact. The people around me know how much I love them. I loved myself. I got to fulfill my vision. I got to impact the world through what I love about myself and sharing my genius juice with the world because I showed up powerfully in a self-expressed way. And anytime we have a moment of near death, we get real clarity about those things. And that's what happened this weekend for my daughter, who got into a Jeep accident, and she's totally okay, thankfully. And it brought up this really beautiful conversation between us. You know, she texted me and said that the Jeep that she was in with her friend driving around rolled. And in that experience, as it was happening, she started to accept the reality that she could die, right? Like whenever you're in a car accident or some sort of situation like this, you have that moment of facing your mortality. And it's intense. I don't know if you've ever experienced this before. It raised the conversation for her and me between, this place of where does happiness live? Where does presence live? What really matters? And, I was in a car accident when I was 14 years old. I wasn't driving it, but the person that was driving, we were going about 75 miles an hour, and the passenger pulled the steering wheel and the driver overcorrected, and we ended up rolling the car 3.5 times. It resulted in ambulance, flight for life, overnight stays in the hospital, broken ribs. I got a concussion and broken ribs and was knocked unconscious for several minutes. And it was really intense and really scary. And I remember that feeling of, oh wow, I can die. I could die. Like my body is not going to live forever, and what really matters. And she had this similar experience. She said it was very surreal. As the car was flipping, she was really connected to the reality of what matters and who she loves and how she feels about herself and the world. And presence is everything. So we got to have this really incredible conversation this weekend. Something it brought up for me is like, who do I love and who do I want to spend my time with? And I called my parents and had them over for brunch, and I was like, I just want to have the people I love around me. Invited other people too. Not everyone could come. Of course, I want my other babies there. One of my babies is on another adventure, and my son was doing homework. So, it was this thing of like, I want those people in my life that I love. I want my friends and my family around me to appreciate that my daughter is alive, to appreciate that I'm alive, to appreciate that I'm surrounded by love at all points in time if I choose to see it. And here's the thing that sucks about when we get stuck in future-based fears or past regret, beating ourselves up or beating the other people up around us who we think deserve to be beat up because they haven't treated us the way we want. So in either of those cases, or situations you didn't want to have, right? So in either of those cases, you're out of the present moment. So you're living in future fear or past regret or past beat up, past worry, past anger, holding on to things that don't serve you anymore. So when you step into the power of presence, you're in the being of the now. You get to be present, so then you can do what you want to do, so you can have the happiness, the fulfillment, the meaning, the joy, the gratitude. But if you're not being present, you can't have any of those things. And remember, this is a habits podcast, and my definition of habits is a repeated pattern of thoughts, decisions, and actions that over time become automatic. And here's the thing, most of us have an automatic habit of being stuck in the past or the future. And so it's your job to train yourself to get into the present as often as you possibly can. It's hard to do. It's a practice. It's a journey. I meditate every single day and I work on this. And every time I meditate, my mind wanders. It's almost always projecting. For me, I get stuck a lot in the future, where I used to be stuck in the past a lot. So it was this victim-minded kind of beating everyone up around me, blaming everyone for my reality, and always looking back at scenarios to validate my position of blame. And when I let go of that, I was like, oh, I got to be present in the moment of joy. Now I sometimes get stuck in future-based, it can be excitement and anticipation and achievement-oriented often for me. It's like, oh, I'm thinking about all the things I want to do and all the things I want to be, but it still takes me out of the present moment. So it's not necessarily fear-based future focus, but it's still future focus that's not in the now. And when we get into the now, that's when we can get into a state of love and gratitude. So something I want you to start trying to do is develop the habit of being present as frequently as you possibly can. Don't beat yourself up when you can't do it, because it's a challenging thing to do. It's, I think, one of the greatest quests of our lives. So my daughter and I were having this incredible conversation about this. Like, what is the meaning of life? You know, if it's to love, you can love only in the present moment. Real love only exists in the now. Right? So if you want to experience that, you've got to learn to be present. So first, just notice when you're out of the present moment. Just start to notice it. Go, okay, how many hours a week do I spend in the future or the past? And how am I going to start to get myself to be more present? But it's by noticing, oh, I'm out of the present moment. I'm sitting in the future or in the past. Okay, great. Notice it. Get back into the present moment. One way you can do this is just by focusing on something in your body, even in that present moment. Go, oh, how am I feeling in my legs? How does it feel to breathe into my body? And you notice it, and then you get present in the now. When you're connecting and sitting with someone, look into their eyes when you're talking to them. Ask them questions and stay focused in the present moment. Those are moments of love. Those are moments of connection. Those are the moments that bring you joy and meaning and fulfillment. So 3 questions you can ask yourself when you start to notice and to help you get into the present. Number 1, am I living in future-based fear or power-filled presence? And of course I ask myself this question because I often get stuck in the future. And now it's not even fear necessarily, it's more like, am I living in future anticipation? Because some of my quest for achievement has been based out of fear. It's like, oh, I've got to achieve to be liked. I've got to achieve to make more money so that I can be successful. But that still takes me out of this present moment of like, everything's fine. I've got plenty of money in the bank right now. I'm doing exactly what I love to do. I'm impacting people. If I get present in that moment, all of the achievement follows. So in that be, do, have model, it follows. So keep getting yourself directed back to the present. Am I living in future-based fear? Or if you're a past beater up, you could say, am I living in victim-minded blame or power-filled presence? Number 2, what can I do today to be present and joyful? What can I do today to be present and joyful? Is it taking a walk in the woods? Is it having a tea with one of your kids, a cup of tea, and talking to them about their lives? Is it having an important conversation with a partner? Is it connecting with a friend? Is it going on a date? There's so many different ways that we can spread love and be present and joyful in the moment. Is it just connecting with yourself? Is it taking 5 minutes for meditation? Is it reading a book you love and digesting it and ingesting it and being grateful in the moment? I mean, there's so many different ways, but ask yourself, what can I do today to be present and joyful? Number 3, how can I expand in love and abundance today? I want you to think about how you can expand in love and abundance today and start to step into that and take some action on it. So these are kind of abstract, esoteric questions where it's like they're not as directed and practical, but it's because I want you to start asking your mind how to train itself in that direction of being present. So easiest is go, okay, am I living in the future or in past blame? Or power-filled presence. And if you're not present in the moment, say, okay, how can I get present right now? Take 3 deep breaths, in your body, be grateful for yourself, and just start there. Just start to develop this habit of being present so you can have a meaning-filled life. Thank you so much for being here. I am grateful for you. I love being present with you. I love being present in my work and sharing what I know and feel to be true in my heart. I love sharing my experiences with you. And to me, this is all just a journey of discovery. Who are we? What are we here for? Why does it matter? And whatever that answer is to you, the answer to me is love. We're here for love. We're here to love ourselves. We're here to be fully expressed. We're here to discover all the parts of ourselves, and that happens in relationship with other people, right? So we bump up against ourself in relationship to other people. And when you can step into that presence within yourself, you'll start to see your whole outer world transform, and you'll see that the people that you start to connect with want to be present with you too. If you've ever noticed when you're present, the people around you they're magnetized to you, and they're drawn to that vibrant light that you exude, and they want to be in your presence because presence is powerful. It's a state of love, it's a state of gratitude, and it's really, I just think, what we're here for, that state of love and gratitude, and sharing that with other people. So expanding in love and abundance every day. All right, I hope you have an incredible, thriving week where you feel so present and so alive and connected with yourself and the people around you that you are just shining a golden light everywhere in the world. All right, I'll be back next week. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Max Potential Habits podcast. If you're liking what you've heard, it would be so incredibly awesome if you would subscribe to the channel and leave a 5-star rating and a written review. This helps me help more people while we grow our NFA community so we can rock it out together. For Max Potential Habits resources, go to nfacoaching.com where you can access all of my resources. There's free ebooks, PDF checklists, a journal template, a business mindset meditation kit, and so much more. Plus, links to NFA coaching on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And if you're super serious about up-leveling, there's also a link to schedule a free consult to work with me in group or one-on-one coaching. Until next time, I hope you have a Max Potential Habits Day where you get inspired to do whatever it takes to transform into the most empowered version of yourself so you can lead a rich, thriving, kick-ass life and business.